Okay then, I'm making this video about putting my VFR 750 onto the ABBA stand. Just going to give you a quick introduction first of all. I'm going to have the camera mounted here so that you can maybe see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And I'll point this camera down towards this side when I'm ready to start. I'd already done this video and had the bike up on the stand, but I wasn't really happy with it because I felt that the Abba stand the Abba Skylift is a great product. Okay, the fact that you can lift your bike, level, the fact that you can have it in a stoppy position, you can have it in a wheelie position, all those different angles just lets you get into the bike brilliantly. And of course the fact that it's a freewheeler, meaning that the wheels can be left free so that you can actually get into them and take them off, is another great benefit as well. So for doing work like brakes and so forth, brilliant, The design of my workshop anyway, the double doors are at the side here. The plot of land that my workshop is in didn't allow for me to come in long ways, and I've got a garage on the other side here. So the double doors are there, and that's my pathway up into the workshop. So a normal conventional ramp wouldn't have worked for me anyway, because I would have had no way of getting the bike in on it, unless I had it diagonally or something, and even then it'd be a bit of a push. So something like the Abba Skylift was always something that I was going to get because it suited this workshop and the design of this workshop. Prior to this I had a Sealy lift that I had my old Bandit 1200 on, and although it was quite good overall, it didn't quite have the same flexibility I felt that this lift was going to give me. And because the workshop was going to be permanently getting used for doing servicing and restorations, I wanted the right kind of lift that would suit me, and I felt that the Abba Skylift was perfect for that. As well as having the conventional Abba Skylift, I've got the full technician's kit. So I've got all the bits and the bobbins that I need for all the kinds of bikes that I might be working on. And I've also got the cruiser lift, which is kind of what like my Sealy stand was like, but it kind of gives you the 4 posts on the cradle. And that's under my bench at the moment, but that's going to come in useful for certain bikes. So I've kind of covered as many options as I can. Now, when I originally did this video last week, I was uncomfortable about putting it up on YouTube because I felt that although the stand is a great product, it kind of falls down a little bit when you're trying to use it on your own. And it's not, some people might think that's rubbish, you can do it yourself, no problem, and you can. But there's always just that risk that it's a balancing act, because you've got to get the bike off the side stand, you've got to get it, it's off the centre stand, you've got to balance the bike, put the lift in one side, get it into the swinging arm bearing, and get it on that position first, and then put your brakes on, and then go around the other side and put the other post in. And the whole time you've got to, be somewhere on the bike holding it, right? And I've got a little clip I'll put in just about now. So you've got to hold on to the bike and keep it up against there. And then the next bit is to take this part and slot it. So you've got to keep up there. Now, what happened there was, I don't really know what happened there. I kind of just lost my concentration for a second, and the bike started to move towards me. Now, it wasn't anywhere near a catastrophe. I'd caught it in plenty of time. It wasn't going to be a problem. But it just, it's the second time I've had an incident where the bike I've had to stop the bike from going anywhere. The other time was my own fault. I put in this side of the lift and I hadn't put the bloody brakes on. I should have read the instructions. I hadn't used the lift at that point. It was the first time I was using it. And I'd watched the videos and that prior to that, but I should have really re-watched them again. I would have just reminded myself to put the brakes on the thing. And of course, once I had it in on this side, I forgot to put the brakes on, went to step away, and of course the whole weight was coming back towards me again. Now, that was stupidity, but accidents quite often happen when you're having stupid moments. So I wasn't wanting to sort of show a balancing act of me trying to balance the bike and getting this bit in and so forth. I just felt that just, I don't know, I just wasn't comfortable posting that. I felt that there had to be a little bit more of a secure way of doing this, that at least you don't have to get into a balancing act. Now, if you've got another pair of hands and someone that can help you, great, you're going to use them and there's no need to do this. You've got somebody else that can hold the bike for you. But anyway, I'm going to turn this video on now, this camera on, and hopefully, okay, and I'm going to show you what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm going to move this camera down now so that you can see hopefully down in this area, and this camera will obviously catch me as I work. Okay, so the solution that I've come up with is, and I'll just move this down to the position. Okay, that should capture it there. So the solution that I've come up with is to put the bike on a paddock stand. Right, now the VFR 750 is a single-sided swinging arm, and I've had to come up with just a contraption to do this. Now you can buy a single-sided paddock stand for the VFR. I don't have one, I've got a conventional one, but I've adapted it. It's only for the purpose of doing this. Obviously, you know, more modern bikes will probably have the ability to put bobbins on for a paddock stand, and so you can do the same thing. Now, disclaimer here, this is me showing you how I'm doing it. How you do it is up to you, right? I'm just trying to say that I've decided that I would like to have it a little bit more stable before I start using the Skylift. And so the solution I've come up with is to use this paddock stand to have the bike already level. So it's off the centre stand, well, it doesn't have a centre stand, this bike, and it's off the side stand, because obviously you've got to get the side stand out of the way to do this. Now, the ABA Skylift comes with a technician's kit. So the technician's kit is basically all the bobbins that you need for all the different bikes, and you'll see there's two missing at the moment. Those are the ones that I'm using for the VFR. In here you get you know, they're basically lettered and numbered, and throughout the book you can read it and find out what bobbin you need. Now obviously ABA only support certain bikes on their site. That doesn't mean to say that an older bike won't work. If you've got the technician's kit, then there's a chance that maybe you've got a bobbin that might fit. But also, because I've got the cruiser lift here, I have got another alternative for getting a bike up if need be. Time will tell how this all works out. But anyway, what I'm going to show you is that I've got the ABA stand ready here, and I've got the fitting that I need for the VFR is this one here. And the idea being that when you push the ABA stand in, the ABA Skylift, you're going to mount it onto here. Now normally, without me using the paddock stand, obviously what I would have to do is take the bike off the side stand and hold it whilst I put this in place. And you will have seen them demonstrate, you will see ABA, the company, demonstrate it. You'll see other people showing you how they've done it. I think a few had made a comment that, you know, you've got to watch a little bit, it's a little bit precarious. You know, it's a balancing act, you're balancing the bike. If you slip, if there's oil on the floor, or somebody throws a banana skin your way, or you just, you know, you just slip on something, whatever it is, you have a chance of actually dropping your bike at this point, because there's no stand, right? So that's why I wanted to try and come up with something a bit better, and this is why I've come up with a paddock stand solution. Hopefully, this is the first time I've tried it. I've got it up on the paddock stand obviously, and anybody else, you know, if you know how to use your paddock stand, you know exactly how you're going to have to mount that. So I haven't bothered showing you me doing that part. So the next part then is showing you how to use this lift. So the idea being that you move the lift into position, and you're trying to line it up with that nut on the swinging arm. And as you can see, it's almost like I meant that from earlier on. you know, I pre-planned this, but I haven't. It's just the right height there, goes in quite nicely, that's it in place. Now, the mistake I made the very first time I did this was I didn't put on the brakes. So when I stepped away from the bike, it started to come towards me. Now that was my stupidity, okay, obviously. So the stand is now in this side. So I'll take the camera over here, hopefully I can capture this as well. Let's just see if we're going to be in the right place. I think so. So you can imagine now at this stage you're having to balance this bike. You're having to hold on to the bike. You're on this side, you've got it off the stand, you're holding the bike, you're trying to wheel that bit in, you're holding the bike, and then you're holding onto the bike as you go around, and you go around here and you're still holding onto it here, and then the next bit you've got to do is put this bracket here on, right? And this is the second part of the solution, and here again is the bobbin, if that's what you want to call it, the adapter that's going to fit on this side, right? Now the idea being that you then slide this bit here onto that bottom stand, and you move that, hopefully I can show you, into position there. Now at this point, what you've got to do is tighten up the screw here, like so. And then probably worth giving this a wee tighten as well. At this stage I wouldn't go mental, just nip them up. And then the idea being that you start to screw this in. And it's screwing this in that basically begins to clamp the bike between the bar on the other side. Now you can see that that's maybe moving a little bit there, so let's just make sure we've got this tight enough. Okay. Okay, so at this point you just turn on the bike, turn on the clamp in until you get it to feel sort of reasonably, nothing mega tight, but just sort of firm at that point there. So at this particular point then, I'm now going to be ready to hopefully jack the bike up. Hopefully that's going to be a decent position for you to see this. Double check this side, make sure that it's tight enough. Got a nice little area there that you can put your Allen key in. Okay, so we're now at the stage that we can start to jack the bike up. However, there is something different here. I'm going to get ready to demonstrate. I'm just going to take a little bit of the weight of the bike off, enough so that I can lift the Paddock stand, hopefully with ease. I haven't actually done this yet, so let's see what happens. Okay, so we can take that out, and at this point I'm going to remove the bar I was using, because the next part is this bar. So what we're going to do is we put, I don't know if you can see this, turn that way a wee bit, hopefully that's going to be enough to see it. This bar here goes in to this slot here, okay, and you just put that in to where you want to, more or less up to there would do. You can tighten that part up again here. Screw there, just tighten up now. Now what this does is, because I want to lift the bike straight, there is an adapter for the VFR that goes in the rear hub, and this is it here. So I'm going to put that in there, and there you go. So the next bit is you need to put the strap, I'll go that up a bit, put the strap up there, and just okay, I've got the safety thing on here, that's why I'm not getting any pull. There's a wee safety thing there, you can see a wee safety buckle. Make this strap a wee bit bigger. Over there like that. And just give it a tighten. Something like that will do you. And then all you've got to do is take this one and just force it up there like that, and that just gives you a second bite that's not going to move anywhere. And all you've got to do is just tidy up the cable like so. So what's going to happen now is when we start jacking the bike up, we're going to here. When we start jacking the bike up, it should go up pretty level. Let's see what happens. Now obviously, depending on where you mount this rear strap, if you mount the rear strap, there's another peg there I've got, another one like this here. Now I bought an extra one so I didn't have to swap them about, but obviously if you mount it there, then it will pull the bike up the way, and if you don't put any lever or straps in it at all, the back end will go up. So I think that's right. I've only ever actually put it up level because that's how I want to work on it. So obviously when I go to let the bike down, I will take exactly the same approach, and I will lower it down, take this part out, and I'll get the bar back in, and I'll get this back up while it's still got a little bit of height in it, so that I'll be lowering it down onto my paddock stand. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I think that's pretty straightforward. Now you see there's holes here. I'm going to take it up to the top, so I've got the most height out of it. Now anything that's hydraulic, any kind of hydraulic jack, whatever it is, you always of course get it to a locking pin position, and then get the locking pin in, and then let off the hydraulics. And obviously the reason for that is safety. So let's just see if we can put this back up again. Hopefully you're going to capture me now. So obviously for safety reasons, you don't want it to be sitting on the hydraulics, because the hydraulics could fail, and the pressure anyway will put pressure on the seals, and you're just going to risk breaking your seals anyway. So always use the locking mechanism. I'm sure actually I've gone too far a little bit there. Too busy talking. Okay. So we check. Yeah, that's right enough. Just checking that was the right one. Okay, put your locking pin in and slowly let the pressure down and release the valve. There's no pressure on it, and that's it. All the way. And so let's just put it back up there again. And so, there we have it. So, once we okay, there we go. So once we're done, we can take the brakes off if we want. Okay, and now we can move it about. Now I've decided to put some padding down on my garage floor on the metal plate on either side. I'm just trying to move it back a bit so I can get around the front a bit. And obviously when I'm getting ready to use the Paddock stand, now if I didn't have the rubber floor down that I put down on either side here, this is the stuff you get at Halfords. I put that there for comfort, so that if I'm kneeling on that, then I'm not kneeling on the metal plate I've got underneath here. And I've done the same on that side. But if I lifted that, then technically I could rotate this bike around 90 degrees and have it facing with the workshop if I wanted, or I can have it diagonally, or whatever I decide to do. So that's basically what I wanted to cover in the video, and I'm much happier with that because I feel that there was no risk there. I never was in any danger of the bike falling. The bike was being supported whilst I got the mechanism in place. Much easier job than trying to hold this leg, you know, hold this ramp, hold the bike, trying to line the things up. It's no easy, you know, and you know, I don't want it to sound like a criticism of the Skylift, you know, because everybody's used it and everybody loves it and everybody does it, but I'm sure, you know, everybody who has done it, or majority of people who have done it, must just have their, you know, the heart in their mouth sometimes. And I wanted to remove that because I felt that the last thing you need is the bike to fall on you, or, you know, the second thing that, or maybe the first thing that would hurt you the most would be damaging your bike needlessly by dropping it and cracking the fairings and mirrors and so forth. So I wanted to just try and put together a method that was much more simpler. And that's it. That's me now happy that I've got a procedure for operating a Skylift in a much safer fashion. I hope the video has been useful. Please comment, whether it's good or bad, I don't really care. If you can add anything to this that makes it safer, you know, if I've done something that you think, ooh, I would have done that, you know, or you've got any suggestions that might improve the situation for anyone else, that's what I'm making this video for. Starters for 10, I've done this. Others might have better ideas, and I don't mind you coming in with those. If in the end result, if it lets everybody work on their bike in a safer way, then I'm happy. It's a win-win for me and a win-win for you. In the end, you have to decide how you want to do it, what's best for you, follow the procedure you're happy with. But I hope that's maybe giving you a wee idea of how to make the ABA Skylift just work that little bit safer. Anyway, take care, and I'm no doubt I'll be back at some point. I need to start working on this bike and take bits of it now. I've been playing around long enough. But last weekend I was out in the Tiger, getting a wee hurl in that. So I am going to start working on this bike. I'm going to be doing all the service items. I'm also going to be overhauling the brakes. I'll be having a look at doing the valves, all that kind of stuff, full service. And once this bike's sort of, I'm going to look at the plastics, try and see if there's anything that needs tidied up. Go over it as I do it, but at the back end of this I have another project ready that will be requiring some serious work. But for the VFR now, it's a bike I've fallen in love with madly. I've had it for about a year and 3-4 months. I've had lots of VFRs in my life, but I love this bike, and I just really want to give it some, so, you know, I want to keep it. It's a very original, it's in very good condition, and I basically want to keep it that way and enjoy it for quite a few years to come. But hopefully the Skylift is going to make the job a lot easier. I hope that's been useful for you. Take care, and speak to you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.